Hello and welcome to another episode of the Atomic Cast. It's Tom here today. Hi, and we're joined by Bert. Bert, say hi.
Hello.
I said hi. Oh, the whole thing's ruined. Um, so today, as you probably guessed from the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about the WTC, formerly known as the ETC, which happened over the weekend. But who doesn't know, that is the World Team Championships. Um, so obviously very exciting. Um, Look, there's a slideshow and everything. It's exciting.
Slides. There we
So
go.
the World Team Championships run by the International Gaming Events, and this is obviously for the Middle Earth SBG section in particular. They do lovely things like bolt action and stuff as well. But we're going to focus on the Middle Earth because Middle Earth vibes. Ooh. Um, so yeah, well, WTC. I'm aware they seem to do things quite secretly for some reason. It's never particularly public knowledge that it's happening. But yeah, maybe that's something they can work on for next year. Well, we've had a chat. So, what is the WTC? It's the World Team Championships, formerly known as the European Team Championships, but now we have more friends, so we're now global. Um, Teams from various countries around the world. Each team has 4 players. This year there was 28 teams, and there is a £1,000 cash prize on offer for that winning team.
It's
Uh,
it's really it's really quite exciting. For those who like Blizzard content in general, Dave Nolan, who runs it, the cash thing he's very excited about. There's a great interview with him on the Entmoot podcast as well. So if you want to know more, do check that one out too.
yes, and Dave has existed in the Middle Earth scene for a very, very, very long time. I don't know why we're in England down here. I think, oh well.
Just just
Um,
just really patriotic.
yeah,
We're just really
England,
excited about it.
yay. Yeah. So how do you get there? This is what a lot of people ask as soon as they find out about it. Um, because obviously everyone thinks that they can win monies. So it's lots of countries currently on the right hand side. This is the countries that currently have actual active reps. So we've got Czech Republic, England, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands, Northern Ireland, Poland, Scotland, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, the UAE, Vietnam, and Wales. Notable exceptions from there, if you're watching, I know you will be, America and Australia. Um, sort it out. You can go onto the WTC website, um, and you can email them and tell them that you're in charge of your community, as it were. And you should be able to get involved. So if you're an Australian, pick a lead Australian, and bully them, harass them into doing it. That kind of thing. Because more countries is better. Um, so because there's only a few countries currently at the moment, some countries have 2 or 3 teams signed up. England has 2, but we also have Scotland and Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Um, so there's like lots of people from Britain coming along. Wales on there. I don't know if Wales took a team this year.
I don't
Um,
remember seeing a Welsh team on there, but I'm sure they'll sort it out next year.
and they didn't really have a team last year either. It was a cobble of English people that ended up going as Team Wales. I know because I was invited to go along with them. Um, so in England, we pick our team via the kind of top 3 people in the GBHL plus our wild card person. And then it's also obviously who is actually available to go because this one is a long weekend in Spain this year. Last year it was in Ireland. It bounces around one of the countries, so that's quite nice. Um, and then the second team is just kind of the next 3 and another wild card person.
How does the wildcard system work for those who aren't in the know?
So Owen Wright currently organises everything for England. He picks someone.
Oh, nice.
Normally it's something like the best newcomer from the GBHL or someone who's particularly like someone like, let's say, someone like an Ed Ball hasn't had a fantastic season, but was still keen to come. And obviously is very good with a particular list and just generally very good at the game. He might come along as a wild card because he doesn't actually technically qualify, but is very much good enough to come. That kind of thing, basically. Just get good. If you're not in the top 10 of the GBH at the end of the year, you're probably not coming. Basically. At the minute. But you never know. So the WTC uses a team format. Anyone who's played in like team events for 40k and other systems, as well as the couple of team events that started popping up in GBHL, will probably recognize this system to an extent. So you have, I'll do my best to describe it, but it's one of those ones where until you do it, it doesn't make sense, I find. There are 4 players in each team. So let's say in England, I might have, well, like in my team right now, I'm the captain, and I've got Assault on Helm's Deep. I've got Blinding Light, Galadriel, Lothlorien list. I've got pure Goblin Town Hordiness, and I've got Black Riders. I might be playing against another team who's got, some other stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of my lists. So I'm going to pick Assault on Helm's Deep, and I'm going to nominate that army. The other guys are going to pick 2 possible lists from their crew. So if I put up Assault on Helm's Deep, someone might put up a Blinding Light list. Someone else might put up something with Assault on Loth or something. Yes, Fighting Darkness. 2 things that are pretty hard counted towards your list. And then as the first person, I get to choose which one of them my Assault on Helm's Deep is playing against. If that kind of makes sense. While we're doing that, the other team is doing theirs. So I put my kind of attacking team, so Assault on Helm's Deep up, and then 2 kind of defending teams to defend against whatever they put up as their attacking team. So I've nominated 3 teams at this point. And then you kind of like, whoever's not been chosen as your defendery one plays someone else. Then it kind of pairs up the last 2. So you end up with your 4 matchups. The 40k guys used the words attacking and defending. I noticed the Middle Earth guys didn't, but yeah. You essentially, so when you're forming your lists, you can do things like people often have a blocking team kind of thing. So historically, this has been Mr. King, who's taken just like the most tar pity dwarf list he can possibly come up with. So they can kind of go, well, whatever your good list is that you're putting out, I'm just going to throw 20 Vault Warden teams in front of you, and you're not going to be able to do anything. Enjoy, or something along those lines.
It's either that or the way. So when we went up, me and some London people went up to Steve Crow's team's events over last summer, and how we did a lot of our team selection was I was playing a triple list or a Assault on Helm's Deep list, and essentially if the other team didn't have 2 Blinding Light Assault on Lots, then essentially you can guarantee that your one big skew list is going to play against something where it can work. So that definitely factored into how we constructed the 4 different lists that we ended up taking up there, which meant that I never played against Blinding Light or Assault on Loth or anything like that.
Yeah. I think what a lot of these guys do at the moment is take so you'll have your kind of like your one best person with their best list, and it's their job to try and just win the game somehow against someone. Because it can be quite interesting. But like you'll go through and you'll see an awful lot of Assault of Dragon Emperors, an awful lot of Assault on Loth, things like that, because you can avoid the hard counters and things. There's a whole like science to it that they get really into. But I'd like to try it out running an event with it soon. But we did look at doing like a small 4-team one or something like that, just to see what happens. But we'll see. But yeah, that's the format. And then we've got the guys who actually made it onto Team England. So, Jay Clare, Jake Rawson, Alistair King, and David Farmer made up England 1. So Jake Rawson off of winning Best Newcomer last year. The other 3 were 1, 2, and 3 in the league. And then England 2, Jay Atta. I can never pronounce his surname.
Acharya.
Jay Acharya, David Clubley, Jamie Wiggins, and Romain. David Clubley came 3rd last year. Ali King didn't.
I think Ali King may actually have been the wildcard pick.
No, Clubley came 3rd, so they went Jay, Dave, Clubley, Ali. So they've just done that. They've done it for player.
Rowan was the wildcard pick for Team 2.
Yes.
I think because he actually crossed Best Newcomer in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think had other things going on last year.
And Wiggins there to bring his Dragon Emperor and things like that. So they've done a little what?
To bang his drum.
Yeah, just there to bang a drum and wave a flag. But yeah, so they've done a little bit of that. But these are the boys heading over. So we'll find out how they got on and have a look at some lists. In a second, I'm just going to stop my screen sharing while I go and find the lists. It is worth noting, so each team is asked to submit multiple, so 5 lists rather than just 4. Because if they need a ring or anything, the list is already submitted. So we'll see 5 lists. Some teams use this as an opportunity to do like a dummy list and fake people out. But we'll see. So this is Team England 1's list. So the WCC uses this kind of Google Docs spreadsheet thing, which means all the lists are submitted in a nice, nice format for everyone. I do quite like it. It did make it really hard to copy and paste onto a slideshow. Grr. So I'll read out lists, and then Bert, if you want to give us your hard hitting analysis. So England Team 1, list number 1, we have got Survivors of Lake Town. So you have Bard, Armour and Horse, Sigrid and Tilda, Alfred the Counsellor, 12 Lake Town Militia with Bow, Gandalf the Grey on Horse, 6 Lake Town with Shield, 6 Lake Town with Spear, 1 with Shield and Spear. Bilbo, 6 Militia with Shield and 6 Militia with Spear. And Hilda with 6 Militia with Shield and 6 Militia with Spear. So we've got 56 total troops plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heroes. So 63 total models. Well, I assume that's just 56 total models, isn't it?
I think the troops is the model count.
Yeah, units it should say.
Yeah, that confused me for a moment too.
Okay. Yeah, this for anyone unfamiliar, this does look very familiar. As a J. Clare type list. Should have probably clarified it's 800 points per list, and there's no repeated heroes across your team. No repeated named heroes rather. So you couldn't all bring Lake Town, for example. So Bert, thoughts on Lake Town lists?
First off, just Lake Towns in either iteration have 0 rights to be this good. And the big thing with the Lake Town militia is, despite 0 visible armor on them, Defense 5 is just really, really good. When you have a massive number of Defense 5 troops, they just don't die nearly as quickly as you expect them to. And if you have a fight 6, 17 might, or something silly, bars running around, it's very, very, very hard to deal with that many troops with a large banner running around and a fight 6 hero. In a in a meta with a lot of fight five running around with your dragon emperors and your bears and all the rest of it, having a multi-attack free heroic combating bard is just going to waltz through troops, turn after turn after turn, and having control options like Gandalf and Bilbo, it's just really, really, really good. And the troops do work. You can't complain about 12 bows and at least 2 dice with a banner in every single combat. It's just dead solid and a pain to deal with.
Yes. And obviously, if you didn't know, Bilbo in this one has the One Ring, but with no negative side effects at all. So you can put the ring on, be invisible, and run around to his heart's content for the entire game, just halving people's fight values.
So yeah, we could get sort of cheeky compels off with Gandalf, and then a bard fight 6 bard plus Bilbo. You are going to be higher fight, and if bard is up to 6 might or something silly from Alfred, if bard wins the fight on his horse and knocks you down, he will spend all of his might, and that's virtually any infantry hero is virtually just dead immediately. It's a fantastic tool.
Yeah. Obviously, he's only fight 6 if he's got his children near him, but yeah. So you can counter it by pew pews, but yeah. It's Lake Town. We all know what Lake Town does. Talked about it far too much in my life. So Lothlorien, this number 2 here. We have Galadriel as the leader. You've got 7 Galathrian warriors with shields, 6 wood elves with bow and elf spear, which allows them to shield, 1 Galathrian knight with shield and elf bow, 1 wood elf sentinel. You've got Haldir, heavy armor and bow, 5 Galathrian with shield, 4 Galathrian with bow and spear, 1 Galathrian with banner, spear and shield, 2 Galathrian court, 1 Galathrian knight with shield and bow, and then Rumil, 5 Galathrian with shield, 4 Galathrian with shield and spear, 2 Guard of Galathrian court, and 1 Galathrian knight with shield and elf bow. So in total, you've got 4 fight 6 pikes, as well as all the other just awfully large amount of elves. 6 pajama boys in there, just to be some bow spears behind the others. But yeah, and what, 2 cavalry, 3 cavalry?
1, 3. Oh yeah, 3 cav. I think, yeah, but with shield and elf bow. I like it. They're expert riders, so they get the D6 and the bow, right?
Yes.
It's a toolbox. Essentially, it's not nearly as high on might as you'll see a bunch of other lists, but it just reacts a lot better. That ability to have elven blades at the front, giving you an edge against fight 5 troops if you hit it, and then fight six warriors with a banner around who can parry. They make so many heroes in the game need to strike against them to get through them, to heroic combat through them. It's a very, very, very good roadblock. So I think this list just grinds really well. I imagine this would be Jake Rawson's list, which he
plays against this survivors the Lake Town list very well.
Yeah,
like everything you just said about fight 6 bard. Cool. Here's some fight 6 pikes. Gandalf's magic.
It's actually, it was one of the quite surprising things. So we've spoken about fight 5 at the high end of competition quite a lot. We don't see King's Guard around very much. And essentially, because you need to take quite a very, very, very expensive hero to go with it. But I think like I think Jake's done here, really just to take three might heroes, a large number of elves, which are very, very tough to wade through. Works just as well, if not better, and that ability to parry without a shield can just hold up a large number of heroes that you see all the time. Your Suladans, your Witch Kings, your Urukai commanders. It's just good stuff.
Bears. Right, move on.
Yeah, I'm so
um,
I'm so bored of bears.
two bears, 20 lads, 6 bows, bears.
Bears. Um,
Um,
I have
I
a
don't believe for a second that they actually took this list.
I'm absolutely certain that this is the dummy list.
Yeah.
um, there actually we didn't see that many. Taking through all the list, we didn't see that many bears lurking around. They are infesting the GBHL scene, at least around here in the south. They are everywhere.
I think we're getting close to their is it a zenith moment? Like what the,
Pinnacle, just
they
burnout.
they came in, they were really exciting. Well, everyone was kind of like, oh yeah, bears, cool. Then people used them a couple of times, like, oh, these are good. So then everyone started buying the bears. Now everyone's finally finished buying and painting and building the bears and like getting good with them. They're now hitting that peak. But now people are getting so like with our immediate reaction to see bears are like bears. Like it's just over it already.
I think it's that in terms of this construction, the only question you ask is how many bows,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's actually been fun to see how many newer players have picked this list up as well, because you can essentially it's the two big ones, a relatively small number of men, and you're done. Like it's 22 models, 800 points. It's a very quick, easy list to build,
It's
and that's
also
why
an
we've seen loads of it.
instant get good list. Like
Yeah.
if you're taking the bears and going less than 3 and 3 at an event, I assume you've had some bad luck or somewhere along the lines. Because otherwise, like you should be quite comfortably going 3 at an event.
If you want to
Minimum.
see if you want to see how bears get on against a good list at say 500 points, check out the Atomic Cards channel, and see how they get on against fiefdoms.
No, they don't. Okay. Erebor reclaimed. So this feels very Mr. King and his little tar pit list that he likes. So you've got Dane Ironfoot, King under the mountain. So that's old Dane, is it?
um,
Or is that new Dane?
no, I think this is fully health. I think this is fully healthy day.
Interesting, because it hasn't given him any war gear. So is he running him on foot? I know Lee, I know Ali likes a foot hero. But yeah. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna look at that up in a second. So he's then also got 10 Iron Hills dwarfs with spear and shield, one with a crossbow and spear, and 3 with just crossbows. He has got his next warband with Gloin, champion of Erebor. He has given him 8 Iron Hills dwarfs with spear, should 2 Iron Hills dwarfs with crossbow and spear, and 2 with just crossbows, and then an Iron Hills captain with war goat. Doesn't say war spear on there.
Could be a point thing, but I'll see
Iron
you.
Hills captain, 10 points for a goat. War spear is the war spear is included.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's just on me not knowing the list. 2 Iron Hills dwarfs crossbow and spear, 2 Iron Hills dwarfs crossbows, and then 5 goat riders, one of which has a banner. Day 9 for King under Mountain. Yeah, that's the old one.
That is
Like
the old one.
the old Bandane. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. It's Lord of the Iron Hills to
How
the old
many?
school.
What's the points difference with Lord of the Iron Hills?
It's about 10 points.
Okay.
King of the Mountain is 130, Lord of the Iron Hills is 140.
Okay, so 140 with and like what 150, 155 with the pig.
You're asking me to do lots of mental maths quickly. No, 160 with pig.
160 with the pig. So I guess it could have been done. Essentially, you can do this list with because you could do Erebor reclaimed with Lord of the Iron Hills. No. You could do a Green Alliance. and do Dane and Thorin, can't you? And just get all the Iron Hills troops anyway.
Yeah. I'm unsure. Are you saying you don't like Dane, old man Dane?
I'm just saying it seems like a lot of hitting power at the cost of a couple of models that you're giving up.
So you've got that with Gloin and the Iron Hills captain.
Because Gloin's the one who is essentially burly without having the burly wound.
Yes, he is strength 5 +1 to wounds with 3 attacks. At fight 6. I believe.
For 90 points. That's glorious. Just lads, if tar pit was the aim, this is definitely a tar pit. Lots of defense 8 dwarves banner in there. It'd also win the shooting war against some lists really quite comfortably. Like 12 crossbows is nothing to be sniffed at.
He's not. He's strength 4. Sorry, I was talking about Dwarven. Okay. So he's strength 4 +1 to wound and re-rolls 1s to wound in combat.
And has 3 attacks.
3 attacks, 2 wounds, 3 might and defense.
And so he is just chomping through troops and having a laugh about it.
Yeah.
Like all troops.
Old Man Dane also has a magic +1 to wound axe. So this is your grind it out list, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it does that job. It could have. I wouldn't want to play that game, but this one is list where even if it's against Dragon Emperor and fight 5 troops, they're just not really getting through the dwarves fast enough, and it gives time for your fight 6 heroes or +1 to wound. You look at what 3 attacks killing Easterlings on 4s.
Yeah,
you're just winning. And it doesn't really, if you're losing fights and not dying, it's less of a big deal. Yeah, it's a cool target and it's got good shooting. I like the 5 goat riders. I think it's a little more than you often see. So the extra mobility adds quite a lot. Yeah, I like it.
And then our final one from England 1 is the Assault on Loth. Yay!
Yeah.
There's so many things to say. Right, so you got Druzag. He's got 3 Venomax spiders, 1 bat swarm, 1 marauder, 5 goblins with spear, and 5 goblins with bow. Then you've got Ashrak, 2 Venomax spiders, 7 prowlers, and 6 bow spear gobos. Then you've got Musga, 1 orc with banner and shield, 1 bat, and 1 warg. Then you've got an orc captain on warg with a pick, 2 warg riders with throwing spear, and 2 wild wargs. Then you've got a shaman. He's got 7 prowlers and 5 warriors with bow and spear. So in total, you have got 14 prowlers. You've got 11 bow and spear goblins, 5 bow goblins, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. 5 spiders, 2 bat swarms, a marauder, and 3 wargs to play with. Still with 54 total models. There's so much stuff. Yeah.
It's actually amazing. Like this list crops up in. I put from a quick glance, probably the top half in the top half. The team division in the top half, probably 2/3 of them had an Assault on Lothlorien list, and it's actually kind of cool seeing how differently the list can be built in terms of like troop choices and things. There are definitely some fun builds that we can get onto later. Tom, you've been playing this list recently. I think the one notable thing is my perspective, which I see a lot of people do, is max out Musga's warband with orcs.
Do you see a lot of people do that?
I have seen not necessarily people who will get invited to the ETC, but I have seen have seen people do that, and I think gradually people have definitely worked out that they are reliability. They are the ones who die.
Yeah, because I've done that and I hate it.
Yeah,
and I'm stuck using it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I really like that we've just gone and Anort with Valor Shield, a Battle Noir with Buska, and we just haven't taken it any further. I just think that's a really good thing. Possibly interesting on something like Maelstrom, but for the other 5 games, it's good.
He's got 2 might. You can maelstrom it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Let's have a look at England 2. We'll try and speed through it now because we've established what we think of some armies in total. Because the first thing on England 2 is Assault on Laugh.
Hey, there we go.
So this one's slightly different. It does not have the captain on Warg for the Orcs. Other than that, it's very similar.
More animals.
This list has less animals than the other list. It has only got 6 Spidaires. It has got an additional. It's got less spiders, more puppies.
Extra bat swarm.
Extra bat, yeah. Other than that, basically the same. 6, 9, 12 bows, so slightly less bows. No marauder, but it's sort of off. We just spoke about it. Sort of off's great.
I'm
it's
sure
really
we'll
good.
keep seeing it.
It's really strong. It ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Florian and Rohan.
This stinks of Rohan May.
So yeah, Galadriel. 5 Glathrim with shield and spear, 6 Glathrim court, 4 wood elves with bow and spear, and 2 sentinels. Then Old Man Aldor, a Gamling on a horse with royal standard, a Feydred on horse with shield and throwing spear, with 2 royal guard with horse and throwing spear, and then a Grimbold not on horse.
One day.
7 Helmingers with throwing spear and shield, and 5 Helmingers with throwing spear and bow. This is you. Go talk.
You can't shoot it. It's a fight 6 line, and it's hitting you back at strength 5. It's beautiful, and it took Rowan to what, 2nd or 3rd in the league, first time of asking. It's really good. It has powers of might. It's a lot lower on numbers than you will see on a large number of lists.
36.
However, 36 is not a disaster. I do like the Rogue Aldor. It's not. I'm assuming that this is done as a warband drop. Because
I have literally no idea what Aldor does.
Aldor, okay, I do.
I know you do. That's why you're talking.
Yeah. Aldor is brilliant in Defenders of Helm's as one of your 2 micro heroes who can spend a point of might each turn, and then Gamling gives it back. So very often he can be calling accuracies and heroic shoots for free, effectively, because you can. And that's often when surrounded by a load of elf bows. In this list, you've got what, 6 elf bows and
6 elf bows and 5 Rohan bows,
which is it's fine. It's some bows. I imagine that his role here is as a warband drop. Bit of a liability in scenarios like assassination, with 1 might, 1 fate, 1 wound. Not nearly as durable as the child.
That's because a child would beat up an old man in a fight. We know this.
A child would beat up an old man. I maybe would have gone with the child just to give the buffs. And he's a bit more durable in fog of war and assassination and these kind of scenarios. Again, it's tools. Beardred, a troop blender. You've got magic. You've got the blinding light. You've got the fight 6. You have absurd amounts of might. What are we on? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, but you know that you can call Aldor can call all of your moves for free essentially every turn. It's good. I like it. I think Phaedra may have been better in 2021 because this was pre-Dragon Emperor and pre-Bears, and therefore fewer elves running around to counter it. But there's still plenty of fight for running around. So Phaedra's running into a line of Hamadrim, Morannons, just random orcs, Dunland, Urukai. He's going to just chop. And without him being your leader, you can just chop and have fun with it.
Like a little grenade, you just pull the pin out and lob them in. Right. Angmar. From Spicy Angmar. Potentially a Jay Acharaya. You never know. Or a dummy, one of the two. So we've got a Witch King on horse with crown and 3/16 free. You've got 7 orcs with shield, 7 orcs with spear, 2 spectres, and 2 wild riders with throwing spear. You've got a birder. You've got 6 orcs with shield. You've got 6 orcs with spear. You got an orc with spear and banner. You got a spectre and a wild rider with throwing spear. You got a captain on Warg. He's got 4 orcs with shield, 4 orcs with bow and spear, a wild rider with throwing spear, and then you've got Barrett White with 3 orcs and 4 orcs with bow spear, and another Barrow White. So 2 Barrow Whites, Witch King 3/16 free, Birder, Captain on Warg, and then a ton of orcs for 54 total models. There are 3 spectres chucked in there as well. Just super controlly.
I think you have more experience playing with and against Angmar than I do. It's definitely interesting. I find that at this level you often see sort of 2 out of 3 of Witch King, Gulavar, Shade.
Yeah.
But I think the ability to go with essentially you can get a Birder with 2 Barrow Whites for the same price as Gulavar, with more Warband slots.
Yeah, but good are they?
Yeah,
so good. There's not a huge amount that I feel like needs saying about Angmar in general. It's a very the only debate you have at these kind of points levels tends to be, do I take Gulavar or not? If I don't take Gulavar, what do I spend the extra points on? And then do I give a Fell Beast to Witch King? If you want to go full fun, Witch King on Fell Beast and Gulavar, just have a great time. Just flying around the board. But yeah, this is another one of these. It's very attrition-y. You can imagine most of these orcs have picks and things as well. And it's just going to wear you down. Assault on Loft does not want this.
No. No, that'd be horrifying. Because you got what, 3 separate terror bubbles?
Yeah, 3 terror bubbles, and then you've got the magic to just assault their casters. You've got enough might that you can actually happily spend, that you can normally start engaging on your terms for things, which Angmar doesn't normally do. And I mean, your stuff's D5, so they're wounding you on 5s with their shooting, so you don't really care too much about it. So yeah, I think this messes up Assault and Loft quite nicely.
And and with the way the teams are picked, if you can engineer this as a counter to Assault on Loft, it's going to have a really good time.
Yeah.
We'll say those particular heroes in Assault on Loft deal with Sapwood. They're not high courage heroes at all, so you can drain their will just with the specters very often as well. No, I think it's a really cool meta pick.
Yeah. And then we've got a Dragon Emperor. Um, read above what we said about bears and stuff. That's just a Dragon Emperor in it. It's Dragon Emperor. Um,
There are some vaguely different builds of this. There's a couple of quite funky ones that have gone for two captains and only two of the named heroes, but
yeah,
it's a good number of lads. It's fight five. It's D6. It has a what always feels like a board wide banner for absolutely no reason.
because he's on a big chair.
He's on the biggest chair.
Just the biggest chair. We know this is Jamie because he's the only person in the world with axes on his Eastlings. Because
Gimme.
but yeah, um, Dragon Emperor in it.
It's just good.
It's
It's
just
just good, and I've had too many games that I just line up against
yeah. It's
something
another
like
one
this
I'm just
where I just
bored of
go,
talking about.
yeah. If you're playing like a fight for strength three army, you're just going, I'm not good with any fights, and when I do win fights, I'm not going to kill you.
And yet I still beat him into the west with it. Oh, look at that. And then over here we've got this hot mess of a
Monster.
Mordor list. Um, which if Ali was in this team, I'd be like, oh yeah, Ali might be using this. This is the kind of thing Ali occasionally uses. Um, what it does feel like is another one where you might. It feels like everything you could possibly want in the meta right now thrown into one thing and going, yeah, here you go, enjoy this. Um, so you've got Razgush for killing elves. He's then got an orc with banner. He's got 8 orcs with spear. He's got a Rag Rider with throwing spear and shield, 3 fell wargs, and a bat. You've then got a Shadow Lord on horse for that sweet you can't shoot me fun stuffs. 6 black Numenorians, 4 Moran and orcs with shear and spear, and 2 trackers. You've got the Mouth of Sauron on a horse for some cheap casting and big warband sizes. He's also got 5 black Numenorians. He's got 3 Moran and orcs with shield and spear, and 2 orc trackers. And you've got Zagdush because he can just chomp through stuff, basically. He's got 5 black Numenorians, he's got 3 Moran orcs with shield and spear, and 2 orc trackers. So you've got yourself 2 casters in the Shadow Lord and the Mouth of Sauron. The Shadow Lord does cast at the better value for ring wraiths. So they're both quite reliable transfixers and things. You have got yourself 3, 6. I can't remember how much the Mouth of Sauron has, but somewhere in the region of 9, 10 might. You've got a Terror D6 front line with 10, 16 Black Numenorians all at fight 4. And then strength 4 Moran and Spears behind to poke through and do some damage.
I think
The
it's really
longer
cool.
you look at it, the better it is.
Yeah, it's a kind of list which it's not one of the big flashy things that you see that often. But I come up against this kind of thing with people, with certain people who are originally from Portsmouth playing this kind of thing, and
This feels like a farmer list.
like a farm list.
Yeah,
I bet you this kind of thing planted by Ash Wilder as well. That Numenorians are just good, and it's one of and against. There's a surprising amount of like courage 2 and courage 3 stuff running around. So other than sort of elves, really a lot of the stuff that we're seeing kind of struggles against this. Like 50 what? How many Black Numenorians? 16.
16, yeah.
16 Black Numenorians. Tough troops, and then they're hitting you back with the strength 4 hit as well. And with the control that you have, I'm certain. I think you're right. This is a farmer kind of list with all the tools that you need and a very large number of dead solid troops.
Fortunately, he's up in the first team. Who was in Jay Clubly?
Feels like a clubby list.
Does it? Okay.
A little bit. A little bit.
I suppose. Yeah. Okay. And then there are two England teams. Let us know how those. We've been going for quite a while. So we'll. I know, but really want to talk about one assault on off list that he thought was really fun. And then we'll have a quick run down the podium list. We'll have to be we'll have to be quicker with those. Northern Ireland assault on Lough.
The Irish boys, they just have a different idea of this building. Meeting a bunch of them for the first time at Lord of the Imps and just seeing some of the absolute monstrosities that they turn up with. I think it's really cool. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see the highlight, and and that is a Moria Goblin Shaman leading 3 Moria Goblins with spears, and that is right. That is eight Warg Marauders. Remind me, have they got 2 or 3 bow shots each?
2.
Okay. So that's 16 bow shots on enormous puppies. Can you enrage and you can enrage the Marauder as well?
You can enrage an unridden warg.
Okay. So in theory, you can dismount any one of these Marauders at any time, and then you can turn them into a very angry dog.
Yes, one of the things people looked at when they first put this list out, I remember seeing it being talked about a few times, and everyone kind of moved on from it quite quickly, was the notion of cheating the warband sizes by having just your 2 heroes and having one of the warbands full of marauders, and then immediately dismounting all of those marauders after Druzag has popped up Fury Beast. So they all pass all of their courage tests immediately. So you now have if you had 10 marauders, you would now have 40 models in one warband, including 20 bows, and just completely break the rules of the game, which is a magnificent thought.
I haven't looked at the rankings, so I don't know how this team did, but I think I may have to drop some messages and find out which delightful human being planted this list and how they got on. So I get the impression it's one of those lists where maybe out of 6 games, maybe a game or 2, you get to do something ridiculous with the Marauders, and that's really, really, really cool. But it may be a gimmick that doesn't quite work as well in practice. It's still a fairly enormous number of models.
Well, if it makes you feel well, I can tell you how Team Northern Ireland did. We jump back to this.
Oh no!
So, if you look down here at 28 out of 28 teams, there you have Team Northern Ireland.
Oh no!
So,
oh bless.
Clearly, not actually a good list.
I just saw it. So I played it. I think it's Ivan Sheehan. And it was just some glorious mix of just like Aragorn and Dunedain and hobbits and.
Is he Northern Ireland or is he Ireland? Don't get that mixed up.
I won't make a statement.
Ivan Sheehan is Ireland, not Northern Ireland. As is David Coleman. As is. Well, that's spoilers. We'll come to that later. But yeah. So team results. So it works by basically adding all your victories and stuff up as a team, which is why we have these like tar pity lists. Because if you can go as a team, if you can stop their good person from winning their game and then just kind of win the other closer games, then you have a good chance of winning your games. So we ended up with Italy's second team topping the rankings with 15 wins, 6 draws, and 3 losses over 6 times 4, 24 games.
Yep.
Then Italy 3 had 16 wins, but only 6 of them were majors. 4 draws and 4 losses, including 1 major loss. And then Poland 1, which I believe featured Jakub. Came, which we all know in England now because he's moved across here. So they had 16 wins, 2 draws, and 6 losses. Felt like someone on their team isn't doing a great job. England there I've highlighted. So England 1 came in 10th. England 2 down in 15th. Ireland 1 came 13th, so above England 2. And Ireland 2 down in 18th. Scotland 2 in 20th. Scotland 3 22nd, and Scotland 1 23rd. And then Northern Ireland down in 28th. They also have the kind of personal rankings, which is a complete kind of second thing to the team rankings. You can normally do quite well on your personal rankings, even if your team does awfully, which is quite nice. But it depends on who you're playing against, so it's not an exact science. But Dan Ahern off of Team Ireland, I believe he's from Cork, won all 6 of his games and popped himself up top of the leaderboard. I've completely missed off highlighting Jay Acharya, who finished 5th overall, with 4 majors, 1 minor, and a major loss. And then we drop down to Jay Clare in 21st, 4 wins and 2 losses. Some guy called Jamie in 22nd. Jake Rawson in 29th. And someone called Tom, who, what a lad. It's probably Tommaso De Zerbi. But yeah. David Coleman also in 25th off of Ireland. And who else did I see a second ago? Ivan was on here somewhere. There he is, 33rd. So the Iron boys.
Out of 112 players?
28 times 4.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sean Sproul off of Scotland is down in 45th. So he made it up into like the top chunk up here. And who's Cha? I can't work out.
Somebody who can't work out how to spell Czech Republic.
Yeah, probably.
I think that could actually be it.
Hang on, it says on the side. No, Switzerland.
Oh, of course.
Of course, cheese. But yeah, I don't see. Oh no, the boys from Vietnam didn't come this year. Oh, mate, they're a good laugh.
I didn't. I mean,
Kim's painting corner.
On
the
were
internet.
Were there any non-European teams this year?
No, I don't think so. Bit COVID-y in it still.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's where we've got to on those. That's how we got on. So we can have a quick whistle-stop tour through Italy 2's list, who won the event, then on to Italy 3 and Poland, but we might have to make them rapid.
I think we'll have gone through some of these lists already. But...
Yeah, so Italy 2. Italy 2 brought the Witch King on a horse of crown and 3-14-3. 5 Black Numenorians, 4 Morannons with shield spear, 3 trackers, 2 wild riders with shield, 2 orcs with spear shield, 2 Morannons with shield, a Shadow Lord on horse, 5 Black Numbers, 4 Morannons with shield spear, 2 orcs with spear shield, 3 Morannons with shield, 1 orc with spear, a Suladan on armored horse, 2 Serpent Riders, 3 Abrakan Guard, 2 Watchers of Kind of Twin Blades, 2 Harrod of Bow, and 5 Harrod with Bow Spear. Just an absolute cluster of stuff.
Terrafront line, good. Strength 4, good. Witch King, good. 6-inch banner, really, really, really good.
Loads of bows, good. You can't shoot me, good. Yeah.
And double caster. Double caster is just really, really good.
Yeah,
Again, especially against the almost inevitable assault on loft matchup, where you can just go, oh, your spells, oh, bless you.
yeah. This feels like it would happily play your assault on lofts.
Yeah. Oh, this would walk through it like butter.
Then we've got a Rivendell list led by Glorfindel, Lord of the West, uh, with his armor and his fancy horse. Uh, a whole smattering of elves. He's got 2, 6, 10, 12, 13, 13 elf warriors with an assortment of bows, spears, and shields. 2 Rivendell knights. An Eristor. He's got 10 elf warriors, one of which has a banner, and then 2 Rivendell knights. And then Círdan, who has got 6 elf warriors, and then a cheeky old man Bilbo with the one ring in there. So he has got 2, 3, 7 regular bows plus 4 knights. So 11 elf bows. Círdan for blinding light, terror, black jazz. Bilbo for one ring shenanigans. Glorfindel for being Glorfindel. Tell you what, this list wants to play against that one.
Yes. Yes. Substantially.
Well, you've got 2 casters. That's cute.
I still, when I joined the game, old Bilbo, I think cost something like 85 points. A massive number of years ago. And it's actually really cool seeing him used one as a to see him used as a really cool utility tool with the ring, and just as a 40-point warband drop as well. It's just good. It's cool.
I have seen him lobbed into the Lake Town Rivendell soupy lists a few times, as well. Just to get like you can take your army of Lake Town and then have a 40-point Bilbo instead of a 90-point Bilbo. Just to
Yeah.
be annoying, but you can't do troops, but that's fine because you really want to do troops anyway. And then yeah, just loads and loads of elves. 37 total models, decent number. Yeah, it's slightly more than the Lothlorien list we saw earlier. But with kind of a very similar vibe. Just slightly less punchy.
Yeah, this feels just a bit grindier. No fight six supports, but we're not seeing as many like Dragon Afros and Bears as maybe we thought we would.
Then we've got this kind of Minas Tirith Rohan Misty Mountain soup, which is quite fun. So you've got LSR as your leader on Armored Horse. You've got 17 Warriors of Minas Tirith, half of which have got spears, everyone's got shields. A Fountain Court with shield. A Hurin on horse. Just 4 Warriors of Minas Tirith in his warband, and 1 Fountain Court with shield. A Theodred, a Haleth, and a Gwaihir. So model count be damned. This is 28 models, but can you deal with Aragorn, Hurin, Theodred, and Gwaihir all running at you? And Haleth's here too. But because it still gets to bust with Aragorn, right? But
yeah, so Aragorn gets to fight 7, but more importantly, Haleth gets 2 attacks.
yeah, just
again, it's he's got defense. He's 2 attacks, 2 wounds. So in the context of this list, he's a minor liability for certain scenarios, but for all the rest, he's a 30-point warband drop. I actually think the fight 7 Aragorn is relevant. I think it's really, really, really relevant because it puts so much pressure on some elf heroes, your dragon emperors, your Rutabis, your dwarf heroes that we've seen here. So many fight 6 heroes. It now forces them to spend might to strike because you can't when he's holding his lightsaber and he's on a horse, you can't really afford to get knocked over by Aragorn. So it forces strikes out of these heroes, and also makes bolging that much better when Aragorn can just declare free heroic combats. And if any of these fight six heroes are in range, um, a fight seven Aragorn is going to mince them very quickly. So actually, I kind of like the Haleth pick. And again, you've got Theodred churning through your troops for a laugh, and Gwaihir knocking things over, making happy eagle noises. It's fun. I can't. It's hard to imagine how this plays against certain enormous model cap lists, but I'm guessing there's one round of heroic combats from Aragorn, Hurin, Gwaihir, and Theodred, and
Yeah.
suddenly there's about 20 fewer models on the table at least.
Yes. A good heroic combat hurl from Gwaihir will.
Yeah.
This feels like it wants to kind of just sit there and then just throw bombs at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, catch Gwaihir. Right. Oh, you've dealt with him. Cool. Here's Aragorn. Right,
I mean,
catch that.
that's it. You've got like Huron knocking you down at six strikes, often wounding on fours with his pointy sword as well, and somehow he's the fourth biggest threat in this list.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dunland
is amazing against Assault on Lothlorien.
It is.
It is absolutely amazing.
It's also 55 models. So this is their kind of horde option. You've got Frydan, you've got a Warrior of Dunland with Banner, you've got 2 Crebain, you've got 7 more Warriors of Dunland and 5 Huskarls. You've got Gorulf, who's got a Crebain, he's got a Dunland Warrior Bow, 5 Warriors of Shield and 5 Huskarls. You got Frida for her We Hate Cavalry. She's got 2 Crebain. He's got 5 Warriors of Dunland. One of them's got a bow and 5 Huskarls. Then you got an Oathmaker, another Crebain, and 11 Wild Men of Dunland. So you've got 5 Flappy Birds, and then just 50 odd Warriors of Dunland running around going, we're strength 4, fight 4 from the Huskarls. 6-inch banners.
Yeah.
Gorulf, who's going to heroic defense against your Aragorn MSR list.
Is it only one banner?
There's only one banner in here, yeah.
That feels a bit odd. I feel like at 800, because even at 6 inches, like the second banner just means you're always banner covered. So I think the second banner, that is so many birds.
Yes.
Birds are actually, if you win priority or remove off, birds are actually a surprisingly fantastic way of just irritating big heroes.
Well, what it does is go behind people. So anyone who's got like an assault on lock where all the heroes are behind them, you've now got birds tagging them. They take objectives really nicely because they can hide because they're 6 up to hit. And just generally cause an absolute nuisance. I do think either this or the last one was probably would be their dummy psych out list, but you never know. Because it's something to chew on, isn't it? But I'll ping it over to Lee.
It's one of those just lists which at a tournament you're ready for certain matchups, and then let's say round 3 you get a couple of wins, and then you end up with this opposite you. And you're just going to go, I haven't thought about how I'm going to deal with 6 birds in a game of domination.
Yeah.
This is just, I'm not ready for this. This kind of sucks. It's cool. It's potentially a rogue meta pick. I can't say I spent a huge amount of time thinking about Dunland. However,
something you have spent lots of time thinking about is triple ballista bomb team assault on Helm's Deep. With 44 models.
Many happy moments thinking about this list.
So in here, you have I'm just going to do totals for these guys. This one, you've got 13 crossbow warriors. You've got 7, 12, 15 pike warriors. You have 1 pike banner warrior. And you have a demo team, and then you have 3 ballistas. You have your commander with a shield, and then you have 2 crossbow captains. You do not have a single shield warrior, just crossbows and pikes. And You have crossbows on your captains, Bert.
Yeah, I think this is the right thing to do. Might powered shots are good. Might powered shots are really, really, really good. I have, well, spoilers. I know that the Poland teams use assault as their dummy list, and we have seen so many lists with a Kirdan, a Galadriel, a Gandalf, or Night type, and I keep looking at assault as a list to take. Right? I just feel you're now at a point where even at like a GBHL 90, well, a four game 90, you'll hit blind like once or twice. GBHL 100, you hit on you hit me on sixes list 2 or 3 times at least. And it's a good number of dudes, but it's not an enormous number of dudes. It's the one banner. It's not loads of banners. It's not an inch banner. And your front lines now in this list are dying on fives. You don't have fight five. I really want this list to be good. But I just feel like there's so much out there. There's so much out there that can drop direct counters to this list down so easily. But then you play against Harad with no blinding light, and you just start doing happy wiggles. It's not something that I'm looking to take much this year, just because I think they're just you're now at a point where I think there will be certain matchups where you go yay and you shoot them to bits and you just win, and then there are some games where you go oh and you can't shoot them and they hit you and you lose.
Yes. What Bert said. Right. So that was Italy 2. They won the event. This is Italy 3. I expect we'll see some not I don't know, we're getting some quite different stuff. It's exciting. So we've got Assault on Loft. Yay! What have they done with their Assault on Loft?
More dudes.
Way more dudes. Hey, look, a full warband with Musga, and this one came second.
So we've had this I know nothing about nighttime. We've had this discussion. I think just a massive number of dudes is just a really cool way to run this list.
Yeah, 64 blokes.
I think it's a really good way of doing it. You still have the space for your tools. I think just generally, if you can get the outnumbering thing as quickly as you possibly can, and you start surrounding things, you're just rolling more dice, and you're always getting kills. I think the +1 they always max mode is a brilliant control tool, but then they're still dudes in combat. And then
I might be wrong, but I believe this team went just kind of pure horde across the board.
I think it's brilliant.
And I love that for them. You go, sweetie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because they got 4 wargs, 2 bats, and a spider. Done.
I think it's all you need.
I also think it's all you particularly need. Might be fun to play with all the spiders and stuff, but yeah, I do want to try it as a much more hoardy option and see what happens. I was looking at it at 800 points with like 80 odd models and get kind of excited.
I think it's better.
Happy goblin noises, basically.
Because if you have like 80 odd models, you're looking at what, like 25 bows?
Yeah. It's only got 13, 7, 6,
13, 19.
6. Oh, yeah, 19 bows, yeah. Don't know why I read that as a 2, but yeah. 19 bows, yeah. So if you hit on 5s, that's 6 hits. And wounding most things on 4s or 5s. So you're like wounding a couple of things a turn. Yeah, quite happy. And a Warg Chieftain, which you can enrage, and that will kill some things.
That will kill anything. And they can heroic combat. I think that's the thing you can do. I think maximizing out on dudes by dropping some of the little animals and just having a couple of really focused things that you can like make enormous is a really, really cool way to run the list.
Each spider is worth about 5 goblins. Like when you think of it that way, it's mad.
Go on,
Goblin
Tom.
Town, my boys. Uh, this is exactly how you make Goblin Town. King, Golem, loads of goblins. Scribe, loads of goblins. Grinner, loads of goblins. Captain, loads of goblins. And then 2 mercenary warbands for 103 total models. I love it. You can see my laptop rising up. It's just, talk dirty to me.
103 models to start, and it's described prick moron.
Yeah, boy.
It's,
I love it. I want to make babies with it and have a nice time.
I hate it.
So
I hate it so much. But
that's all I have to say about that.
100. I mean, this is one of the lists where like, that 28 model soupy thing.
Yeah.
Like eventually it will just get overrun.
Well, eventually the king and golem are going to get to it. Because the other thing people forget about Goblin Town is that there's 3, 4, 7, 9, 11, 13 might there as well.
And for the captain, Grinner as well, I guess that's just all for moves.
Grinner can strike and swap with me and do all kinds of shenanigans. 6 of it is 4 moves.
Yeah. And so that, and again, like so six turns of draining might eventually try not to lose a roll off in position for 6 turns to stop the kick and golem getting into something important.
And
Stuff.
Doesn't care about your poxy nighttime shenanigans because they can also see in the dark.
Yep, the Goblin King can lob goblins with clear vision.
Right. So this one is a Moria Mortal Dark Denizens. This is dirt. This is gross. So Shadow Lord on foot, Orc Tracker, 8 Black Nuns at Orc Warrior of Spear, a Goblin Captain from Moria, 2 Goblin Warriors with Shield, 2 Goblin Warriors and 8 Goblin Warriors with Spear, a Durbers, 4 Goblin Warriors with Shield, a Bat, 2 Goblin Warriors and 8 Goblins with Spear, a Spider Queen, 2 Felwargs, and then a cheeky Watcher in the water for good measure. And it's still 44 models.
Do
you know what this is?
Vile. It's absolutely vile.
This is so 2017.
I mean, other than like the Watcher, this is pretty like 2008.
This is previous edition shenanigans. If he's goblins with black shields, woo! This is vintage and I love it. So you got a black Numenorian front line, goblins in the back, and then Spider Queen, Watcher, Bat Swarm, shenanigans, just killing stuff. It's just silly and I love it.
It's so silly. It's kind of like playing against the 6 birds. It's just one of those you just get drawn up against this and just go, oh, my brain hurts. It's just thinking about things you don't normally need to think about. You got you can't not think about how the Watcher is going to arrive and the threat that's going to be, and then trying to deal with that while containing a Spider Queen with the Shadow Lords just going, you stand still, you stand still.
Yeah,
it's just good. It's just good.
If Scott off SW Miniatures was still playing, he'd be having wet dreams.
Having nightmares. Oh,
Assault on Helm's Deep. But
it's 44 models. It's the same thing again. I did have to double check. That is okay, fine. That is 1 demolition team with 3 warriors. I was for a moment.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that they actually just gone for triple bomb.
Is it the exact same list?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
They have also. I find the lack of shields interesting because one of the issues that I've had actually playing Assault is not having enough shields to prolong the end of the game.
But they didn't actually use it though, so.
Yeah.
So don't worry, it's all right. No one actually used it. You don't need to think too much into it. It's all good. This, however,
is really horrible.
okay.
I think this is my favorite list
Ah,
in
so
that I've seen in the whole event. This is just my favorite.
so we'll start off with a nice cheeky Lothlorien warband. So you've got Galadriel, you've got 2 Galafrim with bow, 2 Galafrim knights with bow shield, 10 fight 6 Galafrim court, 1 wood elf with banner, and 2 wood elves with bow and elf spear. Then we get a bit more funky, and we've got what's often referred to as a cheeky little Lake Town engine. So you've got yourself the Master of Lake Town. He's got 15 Lake Town guard of him, all of which have bows. Then you've got Braga. He's got himself 12 Lake Town guard, one of which has got a bow. You've got a Lake Town captain. He's got 12 Lake Town guard. And you've got Alfred. He's got 7 Lake Town guard. So you are looking at, oh, Bert's face is in the way, 68 models with fight 4 most of the places, and then fight 6 where you want it more. 2 Galafrian pikes behind Braga is quite fun because then you can do heroic combats and stuffs for free. Galadriel for blinding light, and her, you can transfix something and then put a Braga into it. Just generally have a great time.
I don't know how you deal with this.
Just gonna go on to Forge World and look at how much Galafrim Court are. Yeah, it's good. It's even got some Cav in there as well, just for added fun.
It's also got the VP banner, and then it's yellow, so it's a 6-inch bubble, isn't it, for the Master?
Yeah. So you might actually want to use that banner for bannering at some point.
Yeah. This is absolutely abhorrent because it's what we're looking at 20 bows.
No, 50, more. 16 Lake Town bows.
22 bows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's vile.
Yeah.
It also it does lack the big hero.
That's all right. You can take out the Lake Town Captain's warband and slot in Thorin or something.
Thorin, yes. Yes, we know. Thorin, why him? It's fine.
Yeah, pick your favorite hero. Just chuck it in there, mate.
But also, it's one of those. Oh, Fairdred, did you heroic combat through 4 dudes? Well done. But also, is that Fairdred? Did you heroic strike not to lose your horse, and did you kill 2 dudes? Well done. Aragorn, do you need to strike to get through things with that many Galadriel court?
Making a bowl of delicious yummy soup. A minute, I'm gonna put this. That was a song we sing as a kid. I can't remember, but yeah.
I mean, essentially, you don't like contest, but other than that, I mean, how do you beat this in domination?
Just kill stuff better. Just do better. All right. And finally, Team Poland. So they
it's Assault!
Assault on Helm's Deep.
Yeah, done it.
They have also done it the same, exactly the same. They also didn't bring it. Moving on. We have got Punis Tirith. This is fun. I enjoy this. This is a nice little throwback to when I was a kid. But you'll see why it makes sense. So you got Gandalf the White with Shadowfax, 1 Knight with Shield, 1 Fountain Court with Shield. Then you've got Kyrian, who doesn't like it when things are terrifying. He beats them up for fun and has a lovely time. He's also 3 Might and Strike. 6 Rangers with Spear, 4 Warriors with Shield, 1 Knight, and 1 Fountain Court. And Madriel, 5 Rangers with Spear, 4 Warriors with Shield, 1 Knight, 1 Fountain Court, 1 Warrior with Banner. So you're working a fight 4 shield wall with 10 bows in it. Mm-hmm. Then just two bolt throws and a trebuchet, mate.
There's another. I think in one of the other Poland teams, I think they got another list with a trebuchet and 3 bolt throwers.
Yeah. just two bolt throwers, a trebuchet, cheeky one. Do you know what this wants to do? Mess up some bears. Um,
Okay, so kind of.
kind of, but not. Yeah, I actually.
So
Yeah,
the bolt throwers, yes. The trebuchets, because I've had this game. I thought brilliant. There's no number models. I'm going to ballista your bears, and they've gone okay. I've 5 up bear save and 3 points of fate, and I'm not. And you don't knock me prone, and you don't knock me backwards. I will take a ballista bolt to the face, and I don't care.
yeah.
The bolt throwers, then being able to do multiple wounds, then they start struggling. So if you can shoot out the scatter targets with your archers, and using magic might, that's probably a pretty good idea. You clear away the scatter targets. Firing, what's it going to be? Offered 10 shots. 10 shots.
2d6 from the bolt throwers.
You're getting 5 most of the time. So call it nine shots, 4 or 5.
6 or 7, surely.
Well, 4 or 5 each. They have. Oh no, it does not have swift.
No, there's no swift reload on these.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, okay, yeah. So 6, 7 shots.
Yeah.
Few hits. Yeah, that's probably going to wound at the same rate.
You're getting, you'll hit 3 or 4 of them, and then you'll wound a couple of times on them. What it does as well is it really puts the hurt down on Dragon Emperors. Because
Dragon Emperor, this is really, really, really good.
They want to see it as a pike block. They now can't because they'll catch a trebuchet in the face. They want to have a palanquin. They now can't because a trebuchet will hit them in the face. Bolt throwers are wounded on 4s. That's going to suck. Yeah. This is a good meta toolbox list. Makes me feel bad for all the times I've spoken bad about bolt throwers, but
I think with the format as well, knowing that you have some control over. So I think in this format, it's a really, really, really cool meta choice. If there is an 800-point GBHL 100, still tickets available for Gates of Dunland. I think this is one where you go, I saw it at the ETC. This is a great list, and then you actually come up against things. It may not.
And then you play against that's 68 model Lake Town list, and you go, this is a problem.
My favorite thing about Galadriel as a leader when it comes to like siege weapons and things, people deliberately, especially with her mirror, they deliberately scatter siege weapons onto her.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Lake
Town.
Yeah.
So we've got it's very similar to the last one. But with one major difference. So Gwai here is the leader. He's then got Galadriel, 4 Glafring with shield, 3 Glafring court, 2 knights, 2 Wood Elf bow, and 2 Wood Elf and a Wood Elf banner. A master, 15 Lake Town boys with 7 bows, Braga, 12 Lake Town boys with 6 bows, and Alfred, 12 Lake Town boys. So a nice, cool 56 lads with a Gwai here and a Galadriel. It's fight 6, and this is going to become a thing. Expect to see it around. This exists now.
This is what.
This is Jakob, isn't it?
This is adjusted for 800, but this is what Jakob brought to Preston. I see this as Jakob again. I think by we usually Jakob's usually about 5 months ahead of the rest of humanity. Just big brain boy. I imagine by the time we hit like September, October phase of GBHL hundreds, we're just suddenly going to see this absolutely everywhere on the top on the top tables.
Then we've got a Dragon Emperor list. They've got all the named heroes. Not much to write home about there. It's 43 models, Dragon Emperor list, Dragon Emperor, load of black dragons, couple of cataphracts, one of which has got a drum, Ratabi, captain, Borgia. So no dragon knight, they've got a captain instead. That's your debate.
I think there's a Geordie from the Two Towers podcast. You can see something. You can see him play on Conquest Creations as well. Has shown how effective like Eastlings they're really good pike block. Now turn it into a pike block that can move 12 inches.
Yeah.
That's really, really scary. So that is essentially a game that sees the prize. You're plonking the entire you're plonking that battle line in the middle of the board, turn one.
Yes.
It's good. It's really, really, really good. And actually I really rate the captain choice. Just so quick.
And then we have got Somersault on Lothlorien. Yay! I know the Polish are starting to get concerned about Assault on Lothlorien in their meta. It is well and truly taken over. This one's got two bats, 3 venomback spiders, a warg marauder,
Lads.
and then lads, including 9 orc warriors. And yeah, just the boys, 62 boys, just lads everywhere. 4, 7, 10, 14, 14, 18 bows.
That's what
plus a marauder, so 20.
Poland, yeah, looking at Poland 2 as well. Their Assault on Lot list had 73 models. If I can find Poland 3, I think they had 61. I think numbers is the way to go. If Poland are going 61, 64, and 70, if they're doing things with if they're trying to break a list and they go with numbers, it's probably the way to go.
Oh yeah, if you want to break a list, give it to the Polish for a couple of weeks, and yeah, they'll have found you the way. They are fairly notorious for it.
I respect it.
Yeah, mate, it's you know what you get if you go to a Polish tournament. But yeah, so the trends that we saw across all of these really, there's Assault on Lofts on all 3 of these podium lists.
Italy 2 didn't.
I can't. It keeps wanting to pop up when I try and come onto Italy 2. Did Italy 2 not have one?
Mordor, Seppenhold, Rivendell.
Oh yeah, they didn't. No, and they won. So Assault on Loft confirmed trash. All 3 of these had an identical Assault on Helm's Deep list though, which I don't think any of them used.
I think it feels. It's very, very, very much like. I've noticed this a year and a half ago. It was brilliant. It was absolutely outstanding, and there were just so few direct counters to it, especially at lower points. And now I look back through like what I play against, and I just go, how would that have gone if I'd been playing Assault? And the answer is, but cry.
Yeah,
a lot.
So yeah, top list we have Mordor Harrod combined, Rivendell, the Ministry of Rohan, and Dunland. For the first team. Second team had Assault on Loth, Goblin Town, Mordor Moria, Assault on Hell's Dig, and Lake Town and Lothlorien. And then team third had Assault on Loth, Dragon Emperor, Lake Town, Lothlorien, Gwai here, and Ministry of Toys.
So what are we missing? So the only Rohan.
Is Ministry in all 3?
I think, but we touched on this in the previous video. That Defense 7 is good.
Oh no, it's not in the second one.
Okay, yeah. But Defense 7 is good. I think the odd one is no Rohan.
Is that odd?
I think given where we were, I mean,
when was the last time Rohan won an event? I am no longer scared in the slightest of Riders of Beornings. Like I used to be. It used to scare the bejesus out of me. Now it's another one of these ones that's just gone. Like you think about how shooty the meta is. Like
Yeah,
you get one round of bowfire off from a 20 shooting assault on the Florian list, and how many of those horses are dead.
I think it's
Right.
more. It's not just how shooty the meta is; it's how shooty the meta is, and how many of these lists have you hit me on sixes effects.
Yeah.
So it's not even so that I'm playing some fairly hoardy defenders of Helm's Deep at the moment. Obviously, I have really 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 good shooting, and I'm getting outshot by Lake Town
Yes.
a lot of the time, and it's very you see these Círdan, these Galadriels, these assaults on lot, even bloody Gandalf floating around now as well. Some in Survivors or Ministera, there is so much blinding light. Yeah, it is a very different meta, and it's just cheap. It's relatively cheap. Other than Gandalf, AOL gets it inherently. Círdan cheap. Galadriel effectively cheap because of the warband size. It's very easily accessible.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks for sticking with us for. It's probably been a good hour and a half now. But we'll yeah, thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully you got a bit of insight into WC, got some cool lists and stuff, got some ideas. And then we'll next time see you with some interesting stuff. We're working on the March tournament lists because the January and February one seems to have gone down quite well. And potentially some other stuff around the like just various scenarios, just general Middle Earth stuff and Ting, as well as the regular battle reports and things like that. So yeah, don't forget to join us, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye bye.